Mathematics is written for mathematicians. At rest, however, in the middle of everything is the sun. First of all, we must note that the universe is spherical. Of all things visible, the highest is the heaven of the fixed stars. Finally, we shall place the sun himself at the center of the universe. The universe, wrought for us by a supremely good and orderly Creator. Every light has its shadow, and every shadow hath a succeeding morning. For what could be more beautiful than the heavens, which contain all beautiful things? For I am not so enamored of my own opinions, that I disregard what others may think of them. In so many and such important ways, then, do the planets bear witness to the earth's mobility. Those things which I am saying now may be obscure, yet they will be made clearer in their proper place. The massive bulk of the earth does indeed shrink to insignificance in comparison with the size of the heavens. To know that we know what we know, and to know that we do not know what we do not know, that is true knowledge. For it is the duty of an astronomer to compose the history of the celestial motions through careful and expert study. Moreover, since the sun remains stationary, whatever appears as a motion of the sun is really due rather to the motion of the earth. Nations are not ruined by one act of violence, but gradually, and in an almost imperceptible manner by the depreciation of their circulating currency, through its excessive quantity. Therefore, when I considered this carefully, the contempt which I had to fear because of the novelty and apparent absurdity of my view nearly induced me to abandon utterly the work I had begun. I am aware that a philosopher's ideas are not subject to the judgment of ordinary persons, because it is his endeavor to seek the truth in all things, to the extent permitted to human reason by God. There may be babblers, wholly ignorant of mathematics, who dare to condemn my hypothesis, upon the authority of some part of the Bible twisted to suit their purpose. I value them not and scorn their unfounded judgment. Finally, we shall place the sun himself at the center of the universe. All this is suggested by the system of procession of events and the harmony of the whole universe, if only we face the facts, as they say, with eyes wide open. Those who know that the consensus of many centuries has sanctioned the conception that the earth remains at rest in the middle of the heavens as its center would, I reflected, regard it as an insane pronouncement if I made the opposite assertion that the earth moves. To know the mighty works of God, to comprehend his wisdom and majesty and power, to appreciate in degree the wonderful workings of his laws, surely all this must be a pleasing and acceptable mode of worship to the Most High, to whom ignorance cannot be more grateful than knowledge. For when a ship is floating calmly along, the sailors see its motion mirrored in everything outside, while on the other hand they suppose that they are stationary, together with everything on board. In the same way, the motion of the earth can unquestionably produce the impression that the entire universe is rotating. Among the authorities, it is generally agreed that the earth is at rest in the middle of the universe, and they regard it as inconceivable and even ridiculous to hold the opposite opinion. However, if we consider it more closely, the question will be seen to be still unsettled, and so decidedly not to be despised. For every apparent change in respect of position is due to motion of the object observed, or of the observer, or indeed to an unequal change of both. In the center of all rests the sun, for who would place this lamp of a very beautiful temple in another or better place than this wherefrom it can illuminate everything at the same time? As a matter of fact, not unhappily do some call it the lantern, others the mind, and still others the pilot of the world. Trismegistus calls it a visible god, Sophocles Electra, that which gazes upon all things. And so the sun, as if resting on a kingly throne, governs the family of stars which wheel around.